Hi everyone and welcome to another lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can order food at a restaurant in Korea. But in particular, we're going to take a look at ordering food at a 횟집. 횟집. And 횟집 is a Korean style sashimi restaurant. 회 means sashimi in Korean, and 집 normally means house or home, but we can also use it to refer to shops and restaurants. And when we combine the two words together to form 횟집, we add 시옷 받침 to 회 and make 횟집, 횟집. And this means Korean style sashimi restaurant. So we're going to first listen to a dialogue of ordering food, and afterwards we'll take a look at each line in detail.
어서 오세요. 몇 분이세요?
2명이요.
아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요. 뭐 드릴까요?
저희 모듬 회 중짜로 주시고요. 멍게 1인분 주세요.
술은 뭐 드릴까요?
소주 한 병이랑 맥주 한 병 주세요.
네, 조금만 기다리세요.
Okay, so let's go through the lines in dialogue in detail. First, we have this phrase which means welcome in Korean, and that is 어서 오세요. 어서 오세요. And this is a common phrase used to welcome customers in shops and restaurants. So if you go to Korea and you go to a restaurant, you will often hear this phrase said by the people working in the restaurant. 어서 오세요. 어서 오세요. Then we have 몇 분이세요? How many people are you? How many people are there? 몇 분이세요? 몇 means how many, and 분 is the honorific counter word for people. The standard word is 명. So 몇 분 means how many people. And then we have 이세요, which is the honorific form of 이에요. So 몇 분이에요 would mean how many people are there or how many people are you. But the more polite way of asking that question is 몇 분이세요? 몇 분이세요? And obviously the restaurant worker would use this more polite form of the question because they're talking to a customer. And in our response, we can say 두 명이요. 두 명이요. Two people. Now, obviously, we are referring to the number of people in our party, and we don't use honorific form of the word form for the counter word 분 to refer to how many people there are in your party. We would use the standard form. So we don't say 두 분이요, we say 두 명이요. And when we want to respond with like a simple noun phrase rather than a complete sentence, we can't just say 두 명. We have to add a polite ending, and that is either 이요 or 요, depending on how the noun phrase ends. If the noun phrase ends in a vowel, we add 요. But if the noun phrase ends in a 받침, a consonant, like 두 명, which ends in an 이응 받침, then we would add 이요. So we say 두 명이요, 두 명이요. So yeah, it's really important that we add 이요 at the end to make that phrase polite. And then the restaurant worker can say, they may obviously, introduce you to, or show you where your table is, but they may also just say, you can sit anywhere. And that is, 아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요. 아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요. First, we have 아무데나, and that means anywhere. And then we have this verb phrase, 앉으셔도 돼요. The main verb is 앉다, which means to sit. But we change that to its honorific form, 앉으시다. And then we add this ending, 아도, 어도 되다, which we can use to ask for permission, but we can also use it to give permission. And when we combine the two together, we make 앉으셔도 되다. And then we change 되다 to its present tense polite form, 돼요. So 앉으셔도 돼요 means can sit. And altogether, 아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요 means you can sit anywhere. 아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요. 아무데나 앉으셔도 돼요. Okay, now after you are sat at the table, the server may come and ask to take your order. And they may ask this question. 뭐 드릴까요? 뭐 드릴까요? What can I get for you? 뭐 드릴까요? First, 뭐 means what, and then we have this verb phrase, 드릴까요. Now, 드리다 is the honorific form of 주다, which means to give. And then we add the question ending, 리을까요? So when we combine the two together, 드릴까요 can mean, should I give you? Or can I give you? Or can I get something for you? So when we combine the two together, 뭐 드릴까요 means, what can I get for you? 뭐 드릴까요? 뭐 드릴까요? And after that, we have this long sentence, or two sentences, which we can use to order what we want to have. So first, let's look at the first sentence. 저희 모든 회 중짜로 주시고요. 저희 모든 회 중짜로 주시고요. First, we have this word 저희, and this is the more polite form of the word 우리, which means we, our. And then we have 모든 회. The word 모둠 means group or collection. So, and 회 means sashimi. So when we order 모둠 회, it's a sashimi dish made up of different types of fish. So you're not getting a sashimi of just one type of fish, but you're getting lots of different types of fish. So not just salmon, you might be getting some bream or bass or some other sort of like fish sashimi in your dish. So 모둠회, if you want to try different kinds of fish, is better to get. But obviously, if you have a certain preference on what type of sashimi you want, then you can also order that as well. But yeah, 모둠회 sort of gives you a more variety that in your order. Then we have this word 중짜, and this means medium. Now, in Korean, when you order certain dishes that are shared, you might be able to get them in different sizes. 중짜 means medium, 소짜 means small, and 대짜 means large. So here the key syllables are 소, 중, 대, which come from Chinese characters. 한자, 소 means small, 중 means medium or middle, and 대 means big, large. And it's quite common to, as I said, if you're ordering dish that is shared among a lot of people, it's quite common for these dishes to come in these sort of sizes. 소자, 중자, 대자. And quite often as well, in certain restaurants, they may even use Chinese characters to represent 소, 중, 대. So that's fairly common in Korea. Use of 한자 is not that common in everyday life, but in terms of ordering things in small, medium, and large, 소, 중, 대 may be represented in Chinese characters. Now, lastly, we have this verb phrase, 주시고요. 주시고요. The main verb is 주다, which means to give, but then we change it to its honorific form, 주시다, because the server is going to be giving us the 회. And then we have this ending 고요. 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 Now, why do we use this ending and what does it mean? To explain this, now there are different ways of combining sentences in Korean. So if you think of 그리고, 그리고 doesn't combine sentences, but it links two sentences together. 그리고 kind of means also. So if I could say, for example, 저는 김치를 좋아해요. 그리고 깻잎을 좋아해요. And that means I like kimchi, also I like 깻잎. However, these are two separate sentences. So if I wanted to join the two sentences together, we often use 고. So I can say 저는 김치를 좋아하고 깻잎을 좋아해요. Right? And that means I like kimchi and I like 깻잎. But we can loosely translate that to mean I like kimchi and 깻잎. So we often use 고 to combine two sentences together into one. However, sometimes we can add 고요. So I can say 저는 김치를 좋아하고요. 깻잎을 좋아해요. So why do we use 고요? Now, one of the uses of 고요 is perhaps when we use 고요, it indicates that we haven't finished speaking. And what that means is that we want to add more information to what I've just said. So it indicates to the listener that there is more information that I want to say about, or the more information that I want to add to the sentence that I've just said. And in terms of this particular context, the person ordering the food may not have completely decided what else to order. So by adding 고요 to the first sentence, he or she can give themselves more time. So they can say, 저희 모둠에 중짜로 주시고요. 멍게 1인분 주세요. So they're giving themselves a bit more time, and which then allows them to decide what else that they want to order. So that's one of the uses of 고요. 고요 has other uses as well, but this is one use of 고요 in Korean. Now, one pronunciation tip with 고요 is that instead of it being pronounced 고요, we often pronounce it as 구요. So we say, 저희 모듬회 중짜로 주시고요. 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 So instead of saying 주시고요, we say 주시고요. So that's very common to pronounce 고요 as 구요 in Korean. And what the other thing that the man ordered was 멍게 1인분 주세요. Please give us one portion of sea pineapple. 멍게 1인분 주세요. 멍게 means sea pineapple. And if you've never tried it, I would strongly recommend giving that a go in Korea. The taste is a little unusual, so I can't guarantee that you will like it, but I really like it. It's something I miss. And so I think you should give it a try. You might like it. You never know. But yeah. And then we have 1인분, and this means one portion. 1 is the Sino-Korean number for one, and the word 인분 means portion. So 1인분 means one portion. And then lastly, we have this phrase 주세요, which means please give. So altogether, 저희 모듬에 중짜로 주시고요. 멍게 1인분 주세요 means please give us a medium assortment of sashimi, and please give us a portion of sea pineapple. Now, once the food has been ordered, it's time for alcohol. And to take your alcohol order, the server might ask, 술은 뭐 드릴까요? What can I get for you in terms of alcohol? 술은 뭐 드릴까요? 술 means alcohol, alcoholic drink, and it's used with a topping marking particle to say that in terms of alcohol, and then we add 뭐 드릴까요? What can I get for you? 술은 뭐 드릴까요? 술은 뭐 드릴까요? And then we have our order for alcohol, which is 소주 한 병이랑 맥주 한 병 주세요. Please give us a bottle of soju and a bottle of beer. 소주 한 병이랑 맥주 한 병 주세요. First, we have soju, which is soju. And even in Korean, although it's spelled soju, it's often pronounced soju, soju. Then we have 한병, which means one bottle. 한 is a shortened form of 하나, meaning one, and 병 means bottle. And then we have this word 이랑, which means and. There are different ways of saying and in Korean, but in everyday speech, 이랑 is perhaps the most common word we use to mean and. And we use either 랑 or 이랑, depending on how the noun ends. We use 랑 if the noun ends in a vowel, but if the noun ends in a 받침, like 병, which ends in an 이응 받침, then we would add 이랑. So 소주 한 병이랑 means a bottle of soju and 맥주 한 병. So 맥주 means beer. So 맥주 한 병 means a bottle of beer. And lastly, we have that phrase 주세요, which means please give. So once we've placed that order, 소주 한 병이랑 맥주 한 병 주세요. The server might say, 네, 조금만 기다리세요. 네, 조금만 기다리세요. 네 means yes. 조금 means a little, and 만 can mean just. So 조금만 can mean just a little or just a bit. And then we have this phrase 기다리세요. Now the main verb is 기다리다, which means to wait, and then we add the ending 세요 to 기다리다 and make 기다리세요. And one of the uses of the ending 세요 is to make a polite command. So they're telling us what to do, but very politely. 조금만 기다리세요. Please wait just a little. Please wait a little bit. 조금만 기다리세요. Okay, so that's a very detailed look at how we might order food at a 횟집 in Korea. So if you ever go to 횟집 in Korea, I hope you can use some of the phrases that we learned in today's lesson. And if you enjoyed this video, then do make sure to follow our channel so that you are alerted to more videos or lessons like this in the future. That's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye-bye.